business owners make something from nothing.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely. And it's interesting. I did the research. When eagles soar, that's different from just flying. Right? And a lot of people, they fly in life. They're just kind of getting by. Yeah. But they're doing something, and they're busy, and they're in the air, but they're not in the heights.
Right.
Because you can only get higher when you soar. And when you soar, well, eagles, their wings have to kind of adjust to the flight current. They literally let the wind carry them.
Bam! You're tuned in to the BAMBIZTALK podcast, where we explore the thrilling world of entrepreneurship through the eyes of successful business owners themselves. I'm your humbly eccentric host, Angel Garcia, co-founder of the BAM Entrepreneurial Center. Each episode, we delve deep into the unique stories of entrepreneurs who've navigated the ups and downs of the business world to give you the opportunity to learn from both their triumphs as well as their challenges, providing actionable insights to propel your own entrepreneurial journey. So, let's dive in and walk the path of entrepreneurship together. Welcome to the BAMBIZTALK podcast, your beacon for building business success. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Amariah Pinchback, the dynamic owner of Eagle's Wings Virtual Services. Not only is Amariah an inspiring entrepreneur, skilled martial artist, and multilingual communicator, but she also embodies the essence of a purpose-driven life through her commitment to service. Her positive and practical approach to business inspires everyone she encounters. Join us as we explore how Amariah's dedication to excellence and service shapes her life and work, providing valuable lessons for all aspiring entrepreneurs. Prepare for an enriching conversation with the awe-inspiring Amariah Pinchback right here on BAMBIZTALK. Man, awesome. Amariah Pinchback. Got you on.
Thanks finally. For having me.
Absolutely. I am intrigued by your business. And I'm actually curious about you, right? For one, why this business, but then rewind that. Because you're fairly talented. You're well-rounded, right? I think there was some martial arts in there. You have some speak different languages.
Yes.
All of that is very intriguing because you can't help but respect a well-rounded individual, right? So tell us a little bit about you. We'll get to your company. Tell us the name of your company right now.
Sure. So I'm the CEO and founder of Eagle's Wings Virtual Services, and we are a virtual assistant agency serving with administrative support and systems for businesses to scale.
And we will definitely get into all of that because that's some important stuff that our listeners, our entrepreneurs and business owners really need to know the importance of what you offer, So tell us about yourself. Tell us your history and how did you get to do this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to take it back to when I was 6 years old.
Oh.
And that's only because it ties into where I am now.
Awesome.
So it's midnight. I'm crying. My mom runs into the room and she says, Amariah, what's wrong? And I said, I just want my own business.
At
6 years old. Exactly. And I'm going to come back to that, actually. I'll come back to that. So I grow up more or less like any normal kid. And I go through school. I graduate high school. I decided to go to college because I was always told your education is something that no one can take away from you. Mm-hmm. So I have my Bachelor of Science in Psychology. I'm ambitious. I decided to be a bookworm. So I get my Bachelor of Arts in Communication as well. And PR. Yes, same time. So I was basically just in the books for 4 years. Yeah, for sure. And there was a lot of overlap. And I really wanted to understand, A, why do people think the way they do, psychology, and B, why do we have a hard time communicating? Because both of those are super important, how we think and how we talk. Mm-hmm. And I did learn, but I also learned that isn't exactly the direction I wanted to take my life in. And I remember when I was first a freshman touring the campus, the tour guide said, oh, yeah, and by the way, don't get to your last year in college and then decide this is not what you want. I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm a planner. I'm logical. I think way ahead. That's not gonna be me. I get to my last year in college and I'm like, this is not what I want. What am I doing? And that's because A, in psychology, yes, you learn more about how people think, and you also learn that people are crazy. And then B, in communication, I was specializing in PR and advertising, and there's a lot out there. I even got an award for a logo, and I, did different things, and it was fun, but it's overworked and underpaid. And unless that's a true passion you have, it's not going to take you and last you through the years. You got to have a little bit more to it. So I knew that, man, this is not the direction I wanted to go, and I didn't know what to do, but I decided to finish because I was already 8 weeks out from walking the stage.
You were there. Yeah.
Yes.
You were there.
Just finished.
Yeah.
So I graduated and decided to become a teacher. My mom has been a teacher. This is her 34th year.
Wow.
My sister ended up being a teacher. So we were just kind of a family of teachers, right? So I was like, well, I know everything that goes into it, but I guess I'll just do it because I need a difference, and I feel led to give it a chance.
Mm-hmm.
So got my teaching certification, did that for about 3 years. And in my 3rd year, I really hit burnout.
What did you teach?
I taught for
1st grade.
Yes.
Oh, man, that's tough.
Fun conversations, fun times. Look, I went into this thinking, no, common sense comes naturally.
Oh.
So you can imagine, I was in for a rude awakening. My stomach hurts. What did you do? I was licking the walls of the bathroom. I was like, oh, wow. Okay, maybe we shouldn't do that. They're like, you're right. I'm not going to do that next time.
I won't do that again.
And I was like, oh, wow. I didn't realize common sense didn't come naturally. And I know parents and teachers, if you are hearing this, you're like, yeah. I could have told you that. But yeah, I learned it pretty quickly. So
my kid's going to hate me, but she used to stick marbles up her nose, and she got this thing stuck in her ear one time. Oh my gosh. We spent hours in the ER trying to fish it out.
Oh man.
Yeah. Good times.
Yes.
I love you, baby.
So, really, there was a lot that led to that point for me. It was a high stress environment. I was just having a lot of anxiety, and I needed to step out. So I stopped teaching mid-year. It's probably the scariest career move I've ever made, especially being a planner. But I said, look, I can't keep doing this to myself. My body was starting to take a toll physically from the stress and anxiety. So I stepped out. I had some savings. I applied to like 50 or 60 jobs here just in the Permian Basin. I would get called in for final interviews, but then they ended up choosing someone else. And I was just going, what am I supposed to do? I have 2 degrees. Why can't I get a job?
Right.
And thankfully, though, that's what led me to the only job that mainly opened up for me, which was an online position. It was remote. It was coordinating, and it was temporary. So I said, you know what? It's a pay cut, but it's something. I can't get anything else. I'll do it. So I did that. And I was like, man, I really like working from home. This is like the life, right? And then I have a huge A-type personality. So organization, logistics, it was just a different side of me that was able to come to life. And I was like, I could do this. Then I saw an ad to start a virtual assistant business. It was a whole course, and they tell you how to do it. So that's basically what I'm doing right now. So I started my business on the side. And when I started that, it was crickets for weeks. And then I finally got my first client. Then I got my second client. And then we kept getting clients. And by the time that temporary online position stopped, my business, I was fully booked. Then by the end of that year, I needed to get a team because I kept getting referrals. And now fast forward to where we are now with top-notch executive assistants, years of experience on our team, so many different skill sets we bring to the table, and working with people from all across America. It is so exciting.
That's awesome.
But I will say 2 highlights. One is, it's okay if your path and your career is not a straight line.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
Because we think, well, I'm supposed to know what I need to do. I'm supposed to have a plan. I'm supposed to have it all figured out. No one has it figured out.
No, and if you say you do, come on.
Prepare to be surprised.
Yeah.
And my path looked like teaching, and then it took a detour to coordinating, and it took a detour to entrepreneur. And who knows what I'm going to do. Right. I'm not limiting myself even to just this, even though I love it and I'm here for it. I'm hoping to venture out into even greater things and leave a legacy, Yeah. So that's awesome. One thing. And the other highlight I would just say is, okay, so I'm going to bring it full circle.
Went back 6 years old.
Yes. When I was crying to have my own business in the middle of the night, exactly 20 years later, when I was 26, is when I started my business. It did come back full circle. Nice. It took 20 years to get there, but you kind of have to lean into your dream, the dreamer side of you, even for people who are super logistics, which is me all the way. But I had to give myself a chance. I had to believe in myself. I had to say, look, it is possible. And that is super important for anyone, whether you're an entrepreneur or not,
Mm-hmm.
that lean into the kid self. Who were you when there were no limits? Before you realized you have to pay your bills.
Right. Before you had the world telling you, guy, you know, do this. But so I'm interested in what initiated 6-year-old Amariah to cry that she wanted to start her own business.
When nothing else worked. I was just getting pushed into a corner.
At 6 years old.
Okay, well, that's 26, sorry.
Yeah.
That's what pushed me to even give room for the 6-year-old me, is because nothing else was opening. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? And I was like, well, you know, I have always wanted my own business, but what would I do? And then I see what I could do and what I'm already doing. I'm thinking, let's go ahead and do it. But when I was 6, what gave room for that? I don't know. You're just a kid. You're just like,
well, yeah,
but dream.
You worked with kids, so you know that your average kid does not cry like, I want my own business, right? That's not a thought. They're like, oh, what? You know what that means, you know?
Right. Yeah, I guess I've always been unique, which kind of taps into a few things you mentioned, talents, right? Mm-hmm. When I was younger, my mom did this whole joke about learning a new language. It was super funny, but I was super hooked. And from then, as I got older, I thought, oh, well, actually, if I learn how to speak in these ways, I can help make it easier for them, right? So we had Koreans, for example, when I was studying at Angel State, and they had this Korean tutoring program. When I joined, I did that for a few years. So I did put in the work and the time, but it was totally worth it. We were able to talk, and I was thinking, I'm making it easier for their brains, right? By speaking in their language. And languages just kind of come naturally. There's a few of us in this world who were like, hey, that language is just kind of coming to me. And when you learn about the different cultures, it's just so beautiful. Yeah. So that's where I kind of started branching out into the languages. That was also from when I was young, though, because I thought I was learning, and my mom was just joking with me. But
so you were learning, but you were also doing it for service for someone else.
Right. Exactly. And that's the key to it. And then becoming a black belt, there was not, I can't say that was really a service originally. I was being bullied in junior high. And junior high is such an awkward time. It's really hard.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I'll tell you this right quick. My mentor, Michael, he always used to say that his dad would say that sometimes a beatdown is you're doing them a favor, right?
Wow.
Yeah, because one, you're not getting bullied anymore, but two, they're going to think next time before they bully somebody else.
That's a good point.
So you're doing humanity a favor by
No, I love that. That's really good. So yeah, when I was in school, I was getting bullied. I was being pushed up against lockers and all this fun stuff. And then I saw this Taekwondo martial arts, and I was like, oh, is that what I need to do to push back a little bit? Yeah. You know? Because you either have that fight or flight type, right? And I was like, oh, I'll fight. It's fine. So I joined, and I was like, man, it was teaching me discipline. It was teaching me respect. It went deeper, right, than just, I'm going to take care of someone if I need to. 100%. No. In fact, most of the time, when you're learning something like that, and you have respect for humanity, and you take those core principles, you kind of adopt this new mindset of, wow, this is to help bring balance and order, right?
Harmony.
Yes, because that's really what it's about.
Yeah.
This podcast is brought to you by Best Brain and Body, a center dedicated to guiding you toward unmatched mental and physical health. Imagine a transformative journey, finding solutions to life's challenges, and forging new relationships with yourself and others. Through tailored coaching, brain health education, and lifestyle enhancements, Best Brain and Body creates a profound connection between the mind, body, and spirit for overall wellness. Best Brain and Body's holistic strategy extends from improving brain functionality to fostering gut health, designed specifically for each individual. The latest wellness research and a dedicated team of certified experts from Amen University and the Institute for Integrative Nutrition are the backbone of Best Brain and Body's commitment to community growth and success. Take the first step towards the best version of your life with Best Brain and Body. Engage with them online or reach out today and start on a steadfast journey toward health and wellness aspirations. Best Brain and Body, where your wellness journey begins.
The BAM Biz Talk podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, Pachuco's Restaurant. Craving authentic and eclectic cuisine in Midland? Well, Pachuco's has you covered. Located in downtown Midland at the ever so legendary and iconic historic building at 316 North Big Spring Street, Pachuco's blends rich and unique flavors in a conveniently pleasant and vibrant atmosphere. Enjoy the highest quality barbecue, savory tacos, burgers, and a variety of other mouth-watering dishes that reflect the spirit of a true Pachuco cuisine. Real, authentic, and just plain different. Check out their menu at www.pachucos432.com or call 432-218-8806 to inquire, or better yet, just show up and get your shine on at Pachucos, where heritage, exquisite taste, and hospitality come together for an unforgettable dining experience. Pachucos, Midland, Texas. Now back to the show.
So you speak Korean?
A little bit, yes.
A little bit Korean.
Super basic. Hebrew intermediately.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
I'm a huge faith Christian Bible person.
So going back to source.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was a huge part of my personal walk in my faith, and that's the language I'm obsessed with. There's a lot to that language. Yes, and you have to write differently and left to right. It's not right. It's just all this different. So, I'm sorry.
I know this is out there, but you looked into the code.
The code?
Yeah, the Hebrew language, the coding.
Oh yeah. That's
wow.
It is, and there's so much to it. Yes, there's so much to it, and the deeper meanings. Man, we lose a lot in translation.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think I said you have to write. I meant right to left. I was like, my brain was like, fix that.
I knew it was opposite of what you do. Yeah.
And then being in Texas, you got to know a little bit of Spanish, of course.
Okay.
So that's naturally I can't say I'm amazing in it, but again, basics. I can pick it up, run with it if I absolutely want to. So, yeah, those languages are my main ones. Everything else is just kind of
dabbling. Yeah. I dabbled in Chinese,
Oh.
Mandarin. But yeah, don't ask me nothing. I have no trouble with English. And then my second language, which was when I was a kid, my primary language was Spanish. But man, I got hit head with bricks and slept a couple times since then. So like I said, I have trouble with Spanish. So with English. So imagine everything else. Yeah. But that's amazing. That's cool. How languages. They come to you, right? Yeah. They speak to you.
Yeah.
Right. So, you here in West Texas, so hey, yeah, you're going to absorb some of the Spanish. There's a lot of Spanish speaking around there, right? Yeah. And then your Hebrew is for a purpose. Yeah. And then your Korean knowledge was for service. Yeah. To others. Right. I think a little bit even the Spanish is a service to others, because you're here and if I understand what they're saying and I can speak back, then you're making it easier to communicate.
Yeah. And actually Spanish is it's one of the top languages to know globally.
Yeah.
So really good language to know.
Yeah, for sure. Well, cool. So getting into what you do, right?
Sure.
Eagle's Wings.
Yes.
Right. So why tell us about the name. How did you name it Eagle's Wings?
So this was actually a dream I had. And in the dream, there was this woman, and she was kind of speaking over everyone on our team. We had a team, and she was giving everyone encouragement, okay? When she got to me, it's as simple as this. She just said, hey, you're going to rise on eagle's wings. Do what you do best. You'll rise on eagle's wings. And when you do, nothing can stop you. And that's really where I got the name.
Okay.
And then that ties into Isaiah 40:31. Those who wait on the Lord, verse 27, will renew their strength. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. Those who wait on the Lord, basically, they will rise on eagle's wings. They will rise on wings like eagles. And that verse ties into it. But that dream, the idea of soaring and nothing can stop you, that's really where I got it from.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
So.
Yeah, because you just tied back your psyche, right? Like your deep psyche, dream world, and pulled it and manifested it.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's kind of what life is, right? It's pulling from nothing to make something.
Yeah.
And a lot of what you do is you help business owners make something from nothing.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Absolutely. And it's interesting. I did the research. When eagles soar, that's different from just flying, right? And a lot of people, they fly in life. They're just kind of getting by, but they're doing something, and they're busy, and they're in the air, but they're not in the heights.
Right.
Because you can only get higher when you soar. And when you soar, well, eagles, their wings have to kind of adjust to the flight current. And they literally let the wind carry them. Yeah. That's soaring. Yeah. And so working smarter, not harder, right? Having the support you need. And that's a huge part of the philosophy and the value we bring at Eagles Wings Virtual Services is we're helping you soar. You're leaning on us. We're supporting you. And that's going to help you go to the places that you can't just go in your own efforts by yourself.
Right. You don't have the structure to do it.
Right.
It's putting the structure together. You're constructing the eagle's wings.
Yes.
Because no other bird, no other animal can get to the heights that the eagle can. Right. And you know how they say fly above the storm?
Yes.
Right. Well, only eagles can do that. I don't think there's another bird, that can do that.
Yeah.
You know, they're the only ones.
And last thing I'll say is when you think of these big corporations, McDonald's, Walmart, anything and everything in these industries, and they're monopolizing the market, they're soaring. Yeah. And they're staying there. And that's a part of being able to do that is because they had to lean on people to help them get there. Whether that's the employees under them or their strategic board, that they had to set up to help them make future decisions for their company. They have to lean on others to help them get there. It is not a one-man show.
Man, 100%, right? Because that is some dialogue. I built it on my own. I did this, I was nothing, started from scratch. And okay, I get that. Right. Good job. You started with nothing, but you didn't do it alone. Yeah. Nobody does it alone, right? Right. Like Walmart's the Bezos, right? As talented and smart and brilliant as he is and how he focuses on customer service, he still didn't do it on his own by a long shot. It's strategic partnerships. Yes. And that's really what I feel that you are like to the businesses you work with. You're a strategic partner.
Exactly. That strategy is what brings our value. That's what helps us bring the value that we bring. It makes us different from other people, right? Yeah. And the people in general that we want to work long term with as entrepreneurs are people who bring value to our business and to our time and to our recommendations. People who are proactive and they think ahead and they've been where you are and they can help you get to places that you can't get on your own. That value has to be there. Otherwise, it's not a strategic partnership. It's not, in the long run, it's not going to be worth it. Strategy is huge.
And figuring out that strategy. Yes. Right? Because each business is different. Right. Even if it's in the same industry, you're providing the same kind of service, you got similar customer, still going to be different. Yes. Right? Because you form a culture when you have a company. Right? Yeah. Like there's instances where two companies fairly large merge, they provide the same service, have the same customer. It would only make sense, let's merge, right? Well, I think it was in the Buy Back Your Time book, if I'm not mistaken, where the cultures were just so different. Their strategic approach was so different, which when they merged, the surface looks great. Yeah, you got customer B. Hey, that's a match. Yeah. Let's go. Let's sign together and make millions, right? But the way they approached it underneath the surface didn't match. Yes. And at that point, it's like two crashing waves going against each other. Well, which one's going to take over? You just created a battle inside your own business. Right. Yeah. So there's no winning with that. Right. Absolutely. It has to be a complete, the decision has to be made at the front. Okay, whose culture are we going with? Yes. Whose bylaws are we using? How are we operating? Just whose SOPs are we going to use? Yes. It's the word of the week.
Yes. SOPs, standard operating procedures.
Wow.
Yes. Those help you to streamline your business, right? To scale. You can't take on as much business as you want without having systems and processes.
Systems and processes.
Yes. And that's why we're passionate about it. But what's interesting is we're finding that as we provide this streamlining support in businesses, it's not just having that in place.
Right.
It's a huge part, but it's also the other little things like how you hire, who you hire, not just having the systems.
Right.
It's how you work. Like you're talking about, how are you building a workplace culture? How are you showing value to your team? These deeper conversations, because everything starts and ends with relationship.
Yes. 100%.
So that is just, I would say, just as important as the systems that you have to back it up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. You know, that is, and it's all the different variations, all these levels of relationship.
Right.
You know, not that any outrank the other, but it's just different intensity levels or different.
Different purposes.
Yes.
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 Absolutely.
Yes, and it can get nuanced, right? It is nuanced, you know, because even relationships, you know, between the culture and the people. The people create the culture, but if, you know, like the leader, right?
Yes.
The president or the owner, they have are they establishing leadership? Are they establishing the culture? Are they setting the tone?
Yes.
Right. And
right.
How do these standard operating procedures get put into place?
Yes.
Is it a hands-off deal, or is it no? Hey, this is how we operate.
Right.
This is how we service our customer. This is how we provide value to our customer.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? And then that gets transferred to our staff,
right,
employees, right, all the way down, right. So the solopreneur, right, we come in and like I'm a good example of this, right. We were just some cowboys to where I'm the janitor and the face,
yes,
and the president, and that's cool. I don't mind doing that, right, because I know that's what it's going to take right now.
Right.
That's how I'm going to get to where I want to get to. But I know that I can't act as the janitor. I can't wear the janitor hat and scale to where I need to scale.
Right.
Because I just don't, there's the time won't allow for that.
Yes.
But there's something to be said about doing the grunt work. And you don't ask someone to do something unless you're done it or willing to do it.
Right.
So now I can ask somebody to go clean the restrooms,
right,
and feel good about it because, oh yeah, I'll do it.
Yes.
Right. I'll set that example. I'll do it. You know, it's like, and I've told this story before. Former mayor of Midland, Jerry Morales, right? After his term ended, he's the owner of Gerardo's Casita over here, and they were catering an event downtown, and you know, showed up and everything's all nice and fancy, and you know, you see Jerry back there, and he's moving cases, he's moving the dolly around, he's doing the work, doing the grunt work, right? Making sure everything's in place, make sure everything's good. And then the new mayor wants to recognize former mayor, right? Because of the transition that just happened. So he looks for Jerry, and Jerry stops, and everybody, thank you, Jerry, for doing a great job. And Jerry takes his moment, turns right back around and starts digging up in the moving things around and getting right back to grunt work.
Wow.
Right, doing it, right? But that's putting in the hard work.
Yes.
And I admire him big time for being that.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's where I saw, you know, growing up, my dad, you know, a lot of family members, they put in that hard work.
Yeah.
You know, and just now it's a sacrifice.
Right.
But then the question comes, and it does come, and I'm seeing that question being presented to me now, right? You know, and a lot of business owners are in this pattern, right? Because they feel they have to do that.
Yes.
Right? There's a difference between being willing and able and knowing that this is what you got to do for now, but not that you have to do this forever, right? Because if you continue to do that forever, how do you scale?
Right. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And that's when you were talking about earlier, is the leader shaping the culture or the people shaping the culture? Which one has more, you know, influence? That gets into leadership, which I love that you brought that up, because when I was starting my business, I decided to get my master's in administrative leadership. And what I found is the most important, and this is kind of taking another detour, but the most important leadership skill. I'm kind of curious if I give you a few choices, which one you think it is.
All right.
Let's do that.
Let's play this game.
Okay, so out of these 4 skills,
Okay.
which one is the most important leadership skill according to research?
Gotcha.
Okay. Communication, problem solving, empathy, and decision making.
I was going to put out empathy.
And that is correct.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Empathy is the most important leadership skill, which goes back to what we've talked about a little bit before. Relationship, everything starts and ends with that. It is so important. And so I say all of that to say that has helped me when it comes to creating the culture in my own business and showing up as the leader who's like, yes, I'm here for you. Empathetically, I care just as much about your professional as I do your personal life. How is your dog doing? How are your kids? And did you reach your goals this year to do X, Y, and Z? I care just as much about that as I do about how you show up for our clients, right? I want to pay you more because I want you to know it's going to increase over time because I value your time. You know, all of those things make or break the longevity of a company. But going back to the idea of, man, I need to do this because I'm the only one who knows how to, and I can do it quickly and I can get it done. And saying, well, I'm just going to put in the hard work because at least I know it'll be done and it'll keep going. And I'm the only one who knows how to do it.
At
all
the
of those
quality
things
that I want it to be out there.
Right. And that's not to say that you're not kicking butt every time you do something like that. But like you're talking about long term, that is not going to sustain, and it's easy to hit burnout. You're going to think, man, why can't I just pass this on to someone? You dream of the day of possibly delegating, and then you end up getting sucked into the cycle again where, 8 hours just went by? How? I was really hoping to do X, Y, and Z today. And it's a vicious cycle for a lot, especially solopreneurs, very vicious cycle, which is why when we get a lot of clients, by the time they come to us, they're desperate. They're like, I don't know what to do. I just know I need a change. And we're like, absolutely.
Got you.
Right? And we specialize in calendar management, how you spend your time, email, just general communications. And then we either do tasks or we do task management saying, hey, this is what you have for this week. This should be on your radar moving forward. Or we do what I call like team buffering. We're a buffer between them and their team. So if their team needs something, we step in and we take care of as much as possible. And then they only do what they can do, right? What they do best.
Right.
And that is super important. Those 3 areas, time, communication, tasks, or team, those are like mostly the 3 biggest pain points that we see when it comes to our clients and providing that high level support. And, we do understand it's important to have someone you can trust. It's important to be able to know that you're getting the value out of what you're investing in, because you're investing into having more time for yourself and to be able, into being able to grow your business. You want that return on the investment naturally. And, we take that to heart, and most of our clients are able to double their sales in a few months of working with us because they have more time. Their mind is clear. They're able to get more done. And then their problems are just growth problems. Right. The good kind of problems. Right. Which if we got to have any problems, let's have the good
kind. We want. That's kind of problems we want. No, I think, so there's a very simple axiom that's said, you hear it all the time, it's ubiquitous in the entrepreneur community, right? When they're saying, okay, I need to be working on my business, not in my business.
Yes.
So you're providing exactly that transition.
Yeah.
You're setting a pathway for the business owner to walk from working in the weeds, surrounded by emails, telephone calls, people walking through the door, text messages, putting out fires with customers, all the craziness that comes, employees calling in, employees messing up, mistakes, just being surrounded by the day-to-day operation of it all. Now, you're helping clear a path to set SOPs in place, to set standardized processes.
Yes.
So now that business owner who's getting overwhelmed, right? Like, oh my gosh, are we going to be able to make this next month's, utility payments, or just their expenditures.
Yes.
Because you already you have a business, and you're already at that point. You have overhead.
Right.
You got to make sure your overhead is taken care of. Plus, you need some extra because
Right.
you need to take care of your overhead. You need to take care of everything, the personal side too,
Yes.
right? So if you can make that transition to where now we're working on our business,
Yes.
to where now you have time to go out and get those other sales.
Right.
Like I'm looking forward to where I can just take off and go hit the links at 3:00.
Yes.
Play some golf.
Yeah.
18 rounds, and bring in some business customers.
Right.
I'm having fun, right?
Yes.
Now, but I'm still developing and growing
Yes.
the business.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about breathing easier. It's about having peace of mind, knowing that your business is still running itself.
Yes.
You're not running yourself to make it run.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
As long as this wheel's going, I'm generating enough to make sure that that's going. Oh no, it's going. You do what you do. It's running like clockwork.
It's the gears, like clocks.
Yes.
Like how internal old school clock actually works with the gears.
Yes.
Right. You got these big gears going, right, which is really motivated by the smaller gear.
Yes.
That's turning, that's getting twisted by another gear, and all the gears are working together. So
Yes.
you just want to be one of those gears.
Right. And I mean, even maybe you just want to be the face of the clock. You're not working. You're not grinding like that, right? You're
just the face.
You show up. You get to be the pretty face.
Yeah. Man, and that's a good problem to have.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
And and like no business is the same, right?
Right.
So that looks different for every business.
Yeah.
But, I mean, sometimes a lot of business owners are very private. They don't want to be the face, but
right.
They can hire a face.
Exactly. You can be the silent owner.
Uh-huh.
But there's one thing, the main thing that we always, like our foundation we serve, that also makes us different, is we're trying to get people back to their joy, get them back to what lights them up inside, get them back to building their own legacy and their own empire. Yeah. You can't do that when you're underwater. With all the tasks and all the scheduling and all of the email, you've got to create a buffer for yourself at the very least. And that's what we provide. And not only do we step in, but we have top-notch assistants. We have people with experience of over 20 years from various industries. We've worked with a lot of businesses. We work with a variety of businesses, but we've already been there with people who are where you want to go, which is why when we show up, we show up. Right. And that's the value you get from working with us versus just hiring a basic assistant anyways.
Right.
And so that's what we try to bring to the table so that you can get back to what lights you up inside. Get back to your joy, start building your empire. Your legacy is waiting for you. Just get the support you need and it will come.
Entrepreneurs and small business owners, are you searching for ways of taking your business to the next level? BAM is your answer. We specialize in crafting high-performance marketing strategies that put your brand front and center right in the palm of your customers' hands. Not only can we create a premium website full of features that optimize your social media and digital marketing presence, but we ensure that your brand gets multiple views from your target audience and even those visiting your competition. BAM is your go-to solution in the Permian Basin. But we're not just about digital and social media marketing. We're a one-stop shop offering a spectrum of services, including business mentorship, strategic planning, market research, and access to capital. That's right. We can get you funding to expand your business. With BAM, you're not just getting a service, you're gaining a partner committed to your growth for the life of your business. Our team of experts in small business development will be with you every step of the way, offering the guidance, support, and services you need. So why wait? Kickstart your journey to success today. Call us to set up a free consultation and discover how BAM can help your business soar above the rest. 432-247-8840. Call today and get your business launched.
I like that. I heard that recently. Somebody started, they're like, you know what? I just decided to start making my decisions based on, does this bring me joy or not? So yeah, you're gonna double my salary and I get all these benefits and everything's cool, but is that decision gonna bring me joy, yes or no?
I love it.
And then following that path, it's like when they say, follow your heart, right? Okay, well, what does that mean, right?
Right.
But following your joy, I think, is a little bit more, okay, joy, right? That's something I can understand,
Right.
Like, okay, and then that's gonna take you on like the path that you took,
Yeah.
you were a teacher because, hey, well, that's what we're all doing here. And
Right.
I know how to do it. I've
Right.
seen it my whole life. So let me do it. But you're like, no, this is not bringing me joy. What is? And that's, you opened up. Literally, you just opened up and you said, hey, where's that?
Yes.
It's like when you, to take a biblical way, when you're praying for and then manna from the sky falls.
Yeah.
Right? And like, oh, this is what I was looking for.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know I was looking for this.
Exactly. And a lot of entrepreneurs, they tell me, look, I'm hustling in my business. My business is doing okay. My head's above the water. And I'll always be hustling in my business.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that will not be me.
Right.
There's a lot of people that tell me, well, you got to do this. You got to grind to make it work. You have to do this to make it, like, you can never find a life of freedom where you have your time and your money. No, you're always going to have to choose. And I was like, no. And I might have been a little naive, not knowing everything that went into business, but
Right.
I still, to this day, even being in the business where I am, no, that will not be me. That might be some people, and that's how they choose to live their
Right.
lives, but I will not choose that life.
Right.
I will have both.
Yeah.
And I'll get the support I need, I'll get the strategy, I'll get the tools, I'll get the resources, but I'm not going to have to choose between my time freedom and my financial freedom. I will have both.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's the life I choose.
Yeah.
That's what gives me joy.
Yeah.
And giving it to people, giving that power to others is exactly why we do what we do.
That's where I was going to point out where I think that's where your joy really resides.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? So I feel that you're more service oriented than self, fulfilling or whatever that term is. Right? You want to be comfortable for sure. We want to be good, comfortable. Okay, I'm in flow. I'm doing good. But if you were in flow and doing good enough, but your business wasn't in service of others,
right?
I don't think that you would be able to tell yourself, this brings me joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. As much as where you're doing now and whatever you do in the future, which I'm interested to know, to learn about you in 10 years. Like, what's Amariah doing? She's going to learn about 3 more languages, globe trotting,
When you said that, I was like, you know what? Let's talk about being comfortable in our businesses financially. Let's talk about our prices for just a second.
Yes.
Because, we do need to be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's super important.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're talking about the value that we bring. And I'm talking about people who know they have good integrity. They have good character. Mm-hmm. You know that the value that you bring when you show up, you show up.
Yes.
You need to charge according to that.
Uh-huh.
You work your way up there if you have current clients who are on that price range, but you figure it out to where your profit margins are on for where you're headed and for the value that you bring.
Love that you said
right?
that. Yes.
Because we talk about valuing our team at some point and valuing our customers, but what about ourselves? Mm-hmm. When did we get put on the back burner?
Right.
We can't afford to do that. And so that value that we bring, the prices that I have, when I set my prices, it is different sometimes for different clients depending on what it is that we're working with them on, right? We provide different services, so it's not going to be a cookie cutter for every single thing.
Sure.
But the value that we bring, I never question. And because of that, I never question my prices. And if I have someone who does question it, then maybe we don't align, or maybe they're not ready for the services that we provide at the rate that we provide it. Because guaranteed, the type of value we bring, business owners like you and me, you will get a return on your investment.
Yes.
No matter what it is.
Right.
So you can't tell me you can't afford it. You're getting a return. It's guaranteed with the type of value that we bring.
Right.
So you're either just not in alignment with what we can give you, or need to be educated on why we have what we have, and then rise to the occasion because you're going to get your return on it. But valuing our time, our expertise, the years you put into the business, the research that you've done, the way that you always are carefully treating how you're going to service your clients. All of that accounts for the price that you have. And your prices should just be your prices, because that's the value you bring. That is so important.
100%.
Yeah.
You remind me of a Picasso story, right? So he's an old man, and he's at his coffee shop where he went to go every day to get his coffee, and he's just doodling on a napkin, right? And this other lady in the coffee shop, she knows who Picasso is, right? Everybody knows who Picasso is in his home, right, in hometown. And he put it in his pocket, and he's just gonna walk off. He's like, she said, "Can I have that?" And he named her some outrageous price, and she was like, why would I, just a napkin? You did it here in 5 minutes. And he was like, no, it took me decades to do that.
Yes.
I've been putting in work for 70 years so I could put out a masterpiece in 5 minutes on a cocktail napkin.
Yes. Yes.
You know, like the raw materials may be worth
right.
maybe a quarter nowadays with inflation, right? I mean, come on. But thousands.
Yes.
What? So it is about value, providing the value, the results.
Yes.
You know, what are the results? You know, is this high quality?
Right.
And that's something that I've been learning to demand from others.
Yes.
Right? Because I provide quality. I expect quality in return. Right, and not for a tat type deal, but
right.
Just hey, if you're putting something out under my name, and it's you know, it's associated with me because I'm the face, right? This has to be of the highest quality that right. I'm expecting.
It's speaking of reputation, speaking of being the face, that is even more valuable than money itself.
Yes, because it translates. Right, and just your how much is determined on, you know, your market and what you do and all that, but it will translate.
Yes.
You're established and you have a good reputation. Honestly, there's been some competitors pop up here and there, and I look at them like, oh, okay, well, I'm not scared. You know what I mean? I already know what they're about. So I'm going to let that float, and I'm just going to keep doing me and press down and keep going and keep raising my standards.
Yes.
To where now we're untouchable.
Yes. Right.
Although I'll never operate like I'm untouchable.
Right. Yes.
Never. Right. But hey, man, we're creating margins.
I love that. I love this idea. So we carve our own path into this world, and it has our own name and our own brand and our own essence. Right. And that is one of the greatest things you can do, because each person, as far as I understand, I'm not a scientist, but as far as I understand, each person has their own DNA print, more or less. Yes. I think even identical twins are some
slightly
different.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's the value we bring, and that path that I talked about. We carve our own path in the world. That essence that we bring, that's only us. There's
no other. Yeah.
And so what you said, I think that's the perfect way to wrap it up, is the closing thought is keep doing you. Tap into that.
Yes.
Allow yourself room to do that, and go all in and run with it, because there is only one you.
It's bringing out that 6-year-old authentic self, right? And who truly are you? Who are you, right? Even though at that age most kids don't have any common sense, what we call common sense, right? But we do have an authentic self that's there.
Yeah.
It's the clay.
Yes.
That is being molded. But that clay is still the clay.
Yes.
So even if we're 6, 60, or 106, right? Yeah. That's your spirit. That is what brings life. It's what guides life. It's what feeds others, right? Yeah. And that's what you're feeding off of others' light.
Absolutely.
Others' clay. So I think that is like your authentic self. I think that's the best. Whatever you do in life, if you can tie that into your authentic self,
yes,
and in that, what it surrounds that might change,
right?
And like you just said, you're doing this right now, and you're loving, and you're in your joy. You're not going to do this forever,
right?
I see big things from this, Amariah, and that's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I think that's a perfect place to wrap it up. Any other parting words of advice or something for entrepreneurs out there that are listening? You know, be your authentic self. That's beautiful. Anything else that's like that you have on your head that you'd like to give out, and then tell us how we can find you and contact you.
Absolutely. So I would say, just kind of piggybacking off of being yourself, my favorite quote is, live your life on purpose. Live your life every day and do it on purpose. It's something like that. I'm kind of merging it, but help me out here. My brain is
who's it by? Do you remember?
No, I don't. But it's like, be yourself and do it on purpose. There we go.
Live That's your life with purpose.
Yeah. So be yourself and do it on purpose.
Intention.
Being intentional.
Yes.
In everything we do.
Yes.
And the best way to do that is to give yourself the space to do that.
Mm.
And the best way to do that ties into what we do.
Yes.
By taking off those things off your plate, those tasks, the hours of your time that you can have right now, by helping delegate that. The peace of mind that you have knowing, oh, that needs to get done. Oh, so go ahead and take care of that.
Yeah. And
you move on, tapping into yourself and doing it on purpose every single day. We have a website, eagleswingsvirtualservices.com. Our phone number is 432-203-9749.
Say it again.
432-203-9749. And then you can find us on Facebook. We'd love to have your support. We'd love to follow. If you're an entrepreneur, we'd love to follow your businesses back. I try to do that as much as possible. So let's support each other.
That takes intention.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. I'm seeing all these businesses pop up that I've known for a while. I was like, oh, we're not following them. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Right? How could I not be following them? You know?
Yes. So yeah, Facebook. I'm also on Instagram, just me as Entrepreneur AMI, Entrepreneur Amy. Really just, we're all here to support each other. Let's continue to build into that community.
We're all in this together. Well, it's been a pleasure, Miss Amariah. Thank you very much.
Thank
yes,
you.
Ma'am.
It's been an honor, and I hope to talk with you again soon.
Oh, yes, it's happening.
All right.